Welcome, people of YouTube. Guy Yash here again today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for clicking on my video. So today's topic is how to overcome pain and how to overcome suffering. Now, I just want to go ahead and say that pain and suffering and depression and mental well-being is not a joke. It's not something that should be taken lightly. Now, in today's society, people are being made to feel weak if you are experiencing depression. Some parts of life, you know, it's becoming in the limelight and people are talking about this topic more often. But on the whole, depending, especially like me, I'm in the construction industry, pain and suffering, mental health, depression, it don't get spoke about. You're not a man if you're doing that, and you're not macho, or you appear weak, and you don't want people to see you as weak. So I just want to make my first point of that if you are experiencing pain, if you are experiencing suffering and mental instability and not stabilised in your mental wealth, maybe you should consider that there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing that you should feel weak about. Actually, you're quite a strong person to be clicking on this video and admitting that maybe you're not 100% right or you're not 100% where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. In fact, it takes a hell of a person to do that. So that's my point number one. Moving forwards, pain and suffering experienced in our lives is a gateway for growth. That's what I've understood about pain and suffering. It's a constant pillar within your life that makes you or breaks you. So some people experience pain and suffering even from their childhood, and it carries throughout the whole life. Their whole life they experience that pain, because every time they visit a situation that triggers them emotions, they go back to how they felt initially in the beginning, in the childhood trauma, in the trauma they experienced, whatever happened to them. They revisit that constantly, and them emotions have never been let go, or they've never overcome their pain and suffering. So to overcome pain and suffering and almost form a better relationship with it, we have to understand what's actually happening. So it's completely personal. It's completely from your ego self, from your personality, from who you think you are, this pain is coming from. So once you go beyond the self and once you go beyond the pain and suffering, you will realise that, yeah, it's a situation that's happened, but you don't have to carry it with you. But doing that is really more easy said than done, because we experience tragic things in our lives. But what I'd like to say is, a lot of successful people are people who have or seem to have really, really good lives. They have got big scars of what they've experienced in their past. And it's how you transmute these situations into the future, what you choose to do with them. Like I said, it's a make or break situation. And to make the situation rather than let it break you. Number one, don't let it consume you. So pain and suffering consumes everyday life. It's like a big bag of rucksack of weights on your back, and every single morning you pick that rucksack up and put it on your back and go around your day. And sometimes somebody might pull out on you in traffic, somebody might call you a nasty name at work, somebody might take the piss out of you, and you wasn't ready for it, and that keeps adding weights to your bag. And eventually it breaks. And, like I said, some people are taking their own lives because they don't know any other way. So to get this weight off your shoulders, to get this weight off your back, what you've got to realise is that you are focusing solely on the pain and the suffering. Your whole life is made up of this situation that's affected you. And you can't move forwards from it because you're not focusing on you anymore. You're not focusing on your well-being. You're not focusing on your mental health. You're solely focusing on what's happened to you. So this, like I said, is a personal situation. You are constantly taking this in a personal manner and constantly self-inflicting this pain against yourself, which is fine. It's a fine place to be in, but what you've got to realise is there's ways of moving forwards and letting go of this. What you've got to admit to yourself is, and I think the first thing to start moving is something wrong, that you're not feeling 100% right. And once you've got that figured out in your head, like, all right, I want to feel better, is you want to figure out what it is that's stopping you, what has happened in your life that's making you feel this way. And sometimes you get stuck at that point. And once you've got that triggered, you've got to find a way of letting that go and letting that situation go. Because if it carries on following you, it will constantly eat away at you. moving forwards, learn from it. That situation has taught you something. So through my experience, I'm going to just hit you with a little story now. So not to go into too much detail, father figure, my dad, I experienced and witnessed him having a heart attack. And yeah, it was a really, really scary experience, really eye-opening. And I must say, it's one of them situations, you watching this will probably know what I'm talking about, where something happens in your life and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, that's a changing point. And you can look back at that situation and see how progressive you was from that. My life changed when I saw somebody who were really close to me thinking that they were going to die. Yeah, it moved me. It really did move me. It moved me into appreciating even the little things in life and appreciating each and every day. Just down to proper little things I was just really thankful for. My relationship with my dad and my mum, for that matter, has got so much stronger moving from that situation because we all experienced it together. So yeah, that is pain and suffering. I don't go through life carrying that situation with me, like, oh, I saw my dad having an heart attack, you know. It's made me grow. It's made me appreciate life. And once you find a better way of treating your pain and suffering through practice, through trying to rehabilitate yourself, you'll realise that pain and suffering is our biggest teachers. It's our biggest point of growth, and it's how we grow as an individual. And like I say, it's either make or break, and you've got to decide make every time. You've got to let it make the person you're becoming, and you've just got to keep moving forwards. If you are experiencing pain, if you are experiencing suffering, and you are experiencing depression, don't let that be everything in your life. You can have, the world is massive. There's so much stuff you could be experiencing, but you've got trapped in experiencing one thing and one thing only. And ultimately, at the bottomless pit of all this suffering that you're going through is this sense of unworthiness. So this sense of unworthiness that we have, that we gather, is easy to do. We're in a world that's, you know, there's always somebody doing better than you, you know, there's always somebody more successful than you. So this sense of unworthiness is a common thing. It needs the biggest part of your love. Your pain and your suffering needs you to turn on the love button, and it needs you to turn in the internal love button. This isn't about everybody else and what everybody else is doing. This is about you, and you've got to take time out to take care of yourself, proper care of yourself. And if you're not doing that, then what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you even doing watching this video? You know what I mean? You've obviously clicked on this video. So if you want to take anything from this, start taking more care of yourself. Start loving yourself more. You are important to many people, whoever you are, and you're important to someone. And you're important to yourself. Life is a beautiful experience, and to have pain and suffering is like having a big cloud but above the clouds is a sunny day, and you've got to work out how to clear the clouds. Yes, this is very philosophical, but it's an important topic in today's world, and it doesn't get spoke about. So if you are experiencing these things in life, make sure you take your time. Make sure you work on you. Make sure you're trying to better yourself. Make sure you're not too critical on yourself. That's another point that I keep seeing with people. They're so critical and so much expectation. Don't expect so much of yourself. You're not in the right frame of mind. You're not in the right space. So how can you expect yourself to be where you want to be? It's all just a gradual process. And if you wake up in the morning, be grateful. Start it as a fresh day. Every day is a new day for development, a new day for growth. That's how you've got to treat your pain and your suffering. If you've enjoyed the video, please drop a like. If you want to see more videos and more controversial topics that don't get spoke about, please hit the subscribe button. But as I always say on this channel, peace and love to anybody watching this, and make sure you take it flipping easy.